Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into one of biology's most incredible puzzles. It's a creature that might just hold the key to perfect healing, the axolotl. Seriously, you're going to want to forget everything you thought you knew about how bodies repair themselves, because this little animal is about to rewrite the rulebook.
Okay, think about it. When you or I get a serious injury, our body's response is basically a quick and dirty patch job. We form a scar, and yeah, it closes the wound, but it often comes with lost function, maybe some chronic inflammation. Now, look at the axolotl. When it gets hurt, it doesn't just patch things up, it rebuilds perfectly. No scar tissue, no loss of function, just a flawless, brand new version of whatever was lost. It's the difference between slapping some duct tape on a problem and having a master architect rebuild it from the ground up.
And this is our master architect, Ambystoma mexicanum, the Mexican axolotl. This little amphibian, with its frankly mind-blowing ability to regenerate, has become a total superstar in scientific research. This isn't just some biological curiosity, it's like a living library, packed with the secrets of perfect renewal, and you better believe science is in a race to decode every last page. So how on earth does it do this? What's the actual blueprint for this biological miracle? How do you build an entire perfectly functioning limb, complete with bones, muscles, and nerves, right from scratch? Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty and break down the incredible mechanics at play. All right, the axolotl's secret weapon. The key to all of this is something called the blastema. The best way to think of it is as a biological command center. Or even better, imagine it's the super advanced ink cartridge for a biological 3D printer. Right where the injury happens, the axolotl creates this clump of amazing, undifferentiated cells that have all the raw materials and all the instructions needed to rebuild literally everything. The whole process happens in 4 really elegant steps. First, the wound closes incredibly fast. We're talking less than 4 hours, and it does it without making a scar. Then comes the real magic. Mature cells, like skin or muscle cells at the wound site, actually travel backward in time. They de-differentiate, turning back into a more basic stem cell-like state. These cells then all swarm together and start multiplying like crazy to form that blastema we just talked about. And finally, they re-differentiate, taking on new jobs to perfectly rebuild every single tissue that was lost. And what's just nuts is how fast this all kicks off. See, our cells usually shut down protein production after an injury to save energy. Axolotl cells? They do the exact opposite. They have these stockpiles of what's called messenger RNA just sitting there, waiting. The very instant an injury happens, a protein called mTOR basically flips a giant on switch, and boom, it unleashes a massive wave of protein production, giving the blastema all the building blocks it needs almost instantaneously.
And get this, the genetic instruction manual for all this complex work is just staggering. The axolotl genome is made up of 32 billion base pairs. To put that in perspective, that is 10 times bigger than the entire human genome. It's not that they have more genes than us, but their genetic code is just unbelievably complex and dense. It's one of the most intricate biological blueprints ever sequenced.
Right, so you've got the building blocks from mTOR, and you've got the massive instruction manual in the genome. But there's a huge piece of the puzzle missing, right? How does a brand new cell know where it is? How does it know what to build and where to build it? This is the fascinating problem of positional memory. Just think about it for a second. A new cell in that little blastema has to make a huge decision. Is it supposed to become the very tip of a pinky finger, or is it way up here, destined to become part of the shoulder? I mean, if it gets that wrong, you'd get total chaos. So how does it know its place?
Well, it turns out the cell is basically listening to a biological radio broadcast. And that's not just a cute analogy. Scientists have actually uncovered this incredibly sophisticated genetic signaling system that gives every single cell its precise coordinates.
And they've even given this biological radio a name, the HAN2 shush circuit. Here's how it works. The injury activates a gene called HAN2, which holds the positional memory. HAN2 then turns on a signal called sonic hedgehog, and yes, that's its real name, we'll just call it shush. Shush is the radio broadcast. It sends out a chemical signal that gets weaker and weaker the farther away it gets. By listening to how strong or faint that signal is, each cell can figure out its exact location and knows exactly what part of the limb it's supposed to build. It's literally a perfect biological GPS for regeneration. So, all of this just leads to one big, obvious question, right? If this little amphibian can pull this off, why can't we? Well, the answer seems to go back millions of years to a fundamental trade-off that our ancestors made. It really boils down to this. Mammals, like us, evolved on land, where getting an infection is a huge risk. So our immune system's #1 priority is to seal any wound shut as fast as possible to keep dangerous germs out, and that rapid sealing process creates a scar. The axolotl, on the other hand, lives in a cleaner aquatic environment. It can afford to take its time with a much calmer, anti-inflammatory response. It prioritizes perfect rebuilding over speed. Basically, our branch of the evolutionary tree traded away the incredible power of regeneration for a quick and dirty defense shield that just slaps a scar on things.
Okay, but what if we could rewrite that evolutionary deal? What if we could have the best of both worlds? Because the ultimate goal of all this incredible research isn't just to marvel at the axolotl. It's to translate its secrets into real-world medical therapies for all of us.
And the stuff that scientists are working on right now is just stunning. They're developing these special scaffolds made from axolotl cellular material that could actually guide our own bodies to regenerate tissue instead of forming a scar. They're creating advanced skincare products using axolotl compounds. And the Holy Grail? Learning how to use their tools, like that hand-to circuit or the mTOR switch, to directly reprogram our own cells at an injury, telling them, hey, don't just patch this up, rebuild it.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is happening now. In lab studies using animal models, compounds taken from axolotls have led to a staggering 92% skin regeneration on third-degree burns in just 3 days. This research is already producing results that could completely revolutionize how we treat severe injuries. But here's the thing. There's this heartbreaking twist to the whole story. Just as we are on the verge of learning these incredible secrets of healing from this animal, it's disappearing from the face of the earth.
Just look at these numbers. It's a total free fall. Back in 1998, there were around 6,000 wild axolotls for every square kilometer of their habitat. By 2014, that number had crashed to just 36. 36! And the current predictions are just devastating. They are on track to be functionally extinct in the wild by 2026.
And the reason why this is happening? Well, it's a story we've all heard before. And frankly, it's on us. Invasive fish like tilapia and carp, which were introduced for food, are now eating the axolotl's eggs and young. Horrific pollution from nearby Mexico City is poisoning their water. And decades of urbanization have drained the ancient lakes that were their only home, backing them into just a few tiny canals.
You know, there's this profound, tragic irony that scientists talk about all the time. The very creature that might hold the secret to our own healing, to our own recovery, is itself dying out. And it's happening largely because of us. And so, that leaves us with this one final, really important question. The axolotl is offering us a blueprint for renewal, a biological roadmap that could change the future of medicine. But the clock is ticking, fast. The question isn't just what we can learn from them anymore. It's whether we can save the master architect that could in turn teach us how to save ourselves.